While we're sitting here at Key Largo, in front of Key Largo, the drawbridge is coming up. Oh my God, we're excited now. We're staying at the Holiday Inn! We're staying at the Holiday Inn Key Largo Resort in Marina. They have the African Queen is here. Lots of things coming up here in Key Largo. Jan Scott's road trip begins on the Keys, the Florida Keys next. Behind me, of course, the famous Caribbean Club, where the movie Key Largo was made with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Right now it's kind of a biker's bar. The Florida Keys Wild Bird Rehabilitation Center here in Key Largo. The birds are nursed back to health in the center's Small Bird Hospital.
I'm Laura Quinn, Director of Florida Keys Wild Bird Center, and right now I'm operating a hyperbaric chamber. It pushes liquid oxygen into this tank. The heron who was in here had a fish hook in his leg. These are the educational habitats. They have birds that are so badly injured they can't be released. In here we have a peregrine falcon. He has all his wings, but he simply can't acquire upward flight. Line, occasionally flying into electric wires. But every bird in here, some are blind and they're simply here from old age. They either bring them in or they call us up.
Who owns all this? It's owned by a non-profit. You own it.
It is. Well, I own it, but it is a non-profit organization.
Oh. Thank you very much, Laura, for having us come by, and good luck with all your important work. Coming up next, pelicans. We have some visiting crowd. How are you? Hi, Jan Scott Boulder. We're on the African Queen. This is the Bogart boat from the movie The African Queen. On our Great American Road Trip continues from Key Largo, the only steamboat in America licensed by the Coast Guard, with the captain, Jim Hendricks, and his first mate, for a ride into the Atlantic Ocean.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
I can't believe the story of the boat myself, to be honest with you. I've owned it 19 years now, and it's just been one thing after another. We've been all over the world, and it's just been great.
Mr. Hendricks has taken this boat all over the world. He's shipped it on freighters and steamers and participated in lots of events. So if you come to Key Largo, you can take a ride on this boat. He'll come down and fire it up for you. The guy's like 70-something years old. He loves this, you know, and he digs giving people rides on it. And we enjoyed our time here, too.
This engine that you see here now is what was in the boat when it was built, and I had it special made 10 years ago. Same thing with the boiler. In order to get it properly rigged, I had to get an act of Congress, and I love to tell the story that the finest thing George Bush did while he was president was sign the bill exempting the African Queen from what is called the Jones Act, so I could finish the restoration of her, and more importantly, I could carry passengers. The Jones Act says you can't carry passengers in a foreign boat in coastal waters of the United States. In 1967, they announced they were going to sell her at auction. They announced it in the world press. I'm holding up a little 1968 brochure. It tells that they sold it at auction for $400, but it wasn't even a steamboat. The guy didn't even know it was from the movie. And he sold it to the American who brought it to America, who sold it to the guy who sold it to me. And I bought it 19 years ago next year. So anyway, I fly the flag every place I go, as well as the English flag. Hepburn put the English flag up there, of course, in the movie. She stood on Bogart's shoulders. Well, now we're at the Tiki Bar here at the Holiday Inn Marina Resort in Key Largo. This is a place where a lot of pirates come. People come, they run away from things, they come here. The Key Largo Princess, glass-bottom boat, cruises at 10, 1, and 4. It's a 2-hour cruise. We got our tickets. Thank you.
I'm Captain Howard Smith. I'm the senior crew member on the Key Largo Princess. This is actually the only living coral reef in the North American continent. So it's pretty special that we actually get to take the trip out there.
If you look down right now, you can see we're only in about 5 feet of water. We actually have 285 square feet of viewing area. This glass is actually bulletproof. It will withstand 5,000 pounds per square inch.
Next, Commodore Jann will feed some of these laughing seagulls here off the Princess by putting Doritos inside of his mouth, and these dangerous birds will take them from him. the birds! The birds!
I'm going to tell you a little bit about the corals. The reef drops off about 65 feet over on the eastern edge. The boat you're on right now operates in anywhere from 5 to 25, sometimes as much as 30 to 35 feet of water. Even the things that look like plants down there, waving back and forth, are actually colonies of living animals. They're known as soft corals. They're in the Gorgonian family. So the soft corals are made up of protein, similar to our hair and our fingernails.
Here in Key Largo on Jann Scott's Great American Road Trip continues. Well, we're at Mrs. Macks' world-famous kitchen. Yeah, right here in Key Largo. This is where all the locals eat.
We're on Crane Point Hammock, which is 64 acres of tropical hardwood Florida thatch palm hammock, which is very unique. As you walk through, we have the Museum of Natural History that tells you all about the Keys, Florida Keys history, pirates, Indians, some natural history as well with the flora and fauna, the native species. And then you come outside, and we have this children's area where we have interactive fish feedings, and there's a pirate ship inside the kids can play with. And then you move on, and we have throughout the 64 acres nature trails and boardwalks. Behind my shoulder here is Wild Willie. He's one of our most popular characters here. Now, you see his mouth is a little bit bruised. That's from butting heads against the fence. It's poison wood. Indians used to tie the people to it, and you get a horrendous rash.
This is a poisonous tree. One little touch of this tree, you'll be dead in just 30 seconds.
We want the public to learn. A lot of people don't know the poison wood, for example, that we just said was so poisonous. Well, it's actually very important to the endangered white-crowned pigeon that lives here. So we want to teach people that you might have a tree that causes a rash in your yard, but you need to keep it because it's there for a reason.
Here on the Sombrero Beach, all different little types of shells you can find on the beach. And look, a rare species. There it is. It's a live conch. Here's one that's washed up